Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and welcome to the Advanced Spotting Guide for the map Fjords. Now, what I want to do with the spotting guide for the advanced users is to kind of show you how to play aggressively and also defensively as a light tank, because as the game unfolds, you'll find a lot of the time that the place that you're sitting initially isn't really going to be that effective, and so over time you're going to want to either fall back if your team is losing or be more aggressive to get those spots when your team is winning. This is super crucial for good light tank play in order to rack up that assisting damage, and this is where I feel like a lot of players don't really know how to play their light tanks right. And so again, I wanted to break this down map at a time, showing you those great locations. With that being said, we will go ahead and get started. So again, map is on Fjords. I'm going to be showcasing the western base, or the green base in this case. Once the initial locations have kind of withered, where you're not really getting anything, let's say your team is actually winning, hopefully in the north and in the south, this is a location that you're going to want to take with your light tank. You're going to want to make sure that there's nothing hiding down in this corner before you push to this location. But this rock right here is going to be amazing at getting you some early spots. You're going to just peek around here, and usually anything sitting in that area, just like my brother is showing, is going to get lit. If your team has taken the north successfully, they're going to be able to get shots down on those players for you. Alright, so once this location, you're not really spotting anything anymore, it's okay to advance. Now make sure that you take this trail right along this edge here, because if you expose yourself too high in the open, you are going to get shot and just evaporated immediately. So this rock is really one of my favorite locations when I'm pushing aggressively, because you're going to be able to proxy and spot everything in this area quite easily while maintaining this rock for cover. The only thing you're really in danger of is if anything is hiding over here, but hopefully by this time your team has been aggressive. I've gotten some really beautiful spots doing this. Just be careful, it is slightly dangerous, because if you push aggressively, there is a small chance that you will die on your way to this rock. But again, once you're in this rock, you're relatively safe from death, and you're going to have backup right behind you before you move forward. Alright, so once you've exhausted that rock and you want to push to the next location, this spot is a great location. As long as there's nothing hiding here in that location, you can peek out here and hopefully get eyes on Artie. Now, if your team is just swarming in, by all means, don't just stop here. Just get right in there and get that artillery lit and killed, because you want that assistant damage. But if your team is kind of meandering, taking their time, and you just want to peek really quick before you push in and get yourself killed, a lot of the time artillery is going to be hiding right in that location where that 113 is, and you're going to be able to get the assisting or the kill. If you do get lit here, you can easily fall back and hide behind this house. Alright, so when you're advancing from the south, let's say that the south has won and you're pushing in and they're kind of clustered up defensively on their base, probably around this corner and up in that area here. You can take this bush right here, and you can relatively easily spot their arty, especially if they're firing. Sometimes you'll pop out here and there will be nothing, but again, it's a relatively safe location. If anything is in that area here, a lot of the time artillery will be hiding here, and anything hiding in this area you'll be able to spot pretty effectively. Alright, and then like my brother is about to showcase here, if you're hiding in this location and you're waiting for your team to push up, if your team members are coming up this area here, right down the 3 line, anything that you spot here, they're going to be able to shoot at range, and if artillery are in the right position, they might have an angle as well. So again, that's an effective location that you can take to get some early spots, because if you push in too aggressively and too early, you're going to get yourself killed. Once you've exhausted that location and you want to be a little more aggressive, take that route that I just showed you and push right up into this area here. You will get lit when you pop over, so just be careful about that. But thankfully, you're low enough in a depression that even if you are lit, aside from artillery, no one's going to really be able to shoot you here. Now, if something is up on this ridge, they may have an angle on you, but again, this is just intel, right? You're going to be causing a distraction, chaos. If you have a good turret like the WZ series does, you'll be able to deflect shots. And if they're distracted when your team pushes up this area and they start engaging the heavies, a light tank is the least of its priorities, and so you're going to actually be able to peek up and to get side shots and hopefully get those juicy tracks and get that assisting damage. Alright, so when you're playing aggressively from the red base and you're sitting in this area, hopefully if you're playing your light tank correctly, what I really like to do is take a beeline right down this trail, stay between the trees in the bushes, take kind of a left here, take the high ground. There is a chance that you will get spotted from anything hiding in this area, but again, hopefully your team has won the fight and are going to be available. If you just sneak in this area, be careful that you don't get proxied. See the circle that I have here? If you get proxied, you will get wrecked by anything hiding down on this little peninsula here. So be careful of that. This little brown bush here is really great for peeking around this corner. TDs are notorious for hiding in this area. So if you get them lit, anything that you have allies pushing down from the city or the center are going to just wreck these guys. And it's very common to get a couple thousand spotting assist just within a few seconds by sitting here. Alright, so alternatively, yes, you can spot tank destroyers and other tanks hiding in this area, but this little brown bush is good for more than just that. When you're looking down the peninsula, it's common for tank destroyers to camp out right where I'm pointing my gun in order to get shots down the 5 line. And if you're able to spot them when they fire from this position, you'll be able to rack up some easy spotting damage as well. Alright, so once you've sat in this bush for a few minutes, maybe, just a minute, just to see if there's anything there, maybe you'll light something, maybe you won't, make your way down around, carefully using these trees as cover and get yourself into this position here. Alright, so if you sit in this position long enough, there's a good chance that you're going to spot something when they fire or move. Just because you are close enough to the peninsula that your view range is going to be pretty effective here, even against tank destroyers with good camouflage. And just like that, there's a good chance that if anything moves to get a shot, a lot of tanks will push up over that crest in order to get vision or shots on enemies that are pushing into their base, and you're going to be able to spot them with your good view range, and again, rack up that nice assist damage. So once that location has been, used up and it's towards the very, very end and you want to get some quick shots on Artie and take him out before the game ends, push kind of around here. Obviously, if your team is being super aggressive, you don't have to be so, roundabout with the way you push in. But I would take a turn here and peek over the peninsula. You can drop directly into the peninsula, but typically it takes extra time to climb over that ridge. And peeking around here, almost going to guarantee you that nice Artie kill. Pretty easy at the end of the game, getting you a few extra 100 damage. So one thing you can try if you're actually pushing from the north, which I typically don't do or recommend, you can get yourself situated in this bush here. And if you're patient, if anything is deciding to run away, which is uncommon, you'll be able to spot them from here. Again, this isn't super helpful, but if you sit in this bush for a few seconds, before pushing all the way down the hill, you might get some early intel. And also, if there is a tank AFK on the cap, which, it happens once in a while, you'll be able to spot them just like this, and you'll be able to farm them for their full HP or assist your team in getting the kill. So once you've exhausted that location, it's alright to push forward. Again, this is endgame. You want to be aggressive and get early spots. You're going to want to take this position here, kind of weaving to the top right like I just showed you, and take this house right here. Peeking from this house is pretty powerful. There's a good chance you're not going to get lit, and again, you're ultimately trying to spot things that are hiding, playing defense on that little peninsula. So overall, those are the ways I would play aggressively on the red and green base. Next, let me show you how to play defense.